All right, so full disclosure, I got the noisy treadmill today, and this thing is, can you hear me? Good morning. Um, Here we are. I was woken up early. Like, I got one of those funny nights of sleep where, I'm up at 4:30, and I'm like, oh man, the brain's going, so might as well do something now. So, got into, one of my commitments, and that is loud, isn't it? One of my commitments for my accountability group is to go ahead and, get into a new book. So that wasn't necessarily a new book, but I was tasked myself with reading something new, and that happened to be the Book of Kings, right? Now, a lot of people don't think like, oh, you pick up an actual book. Well, there's multiple books inside this thing called the Bible, right? And it's chock full of wisdom and good stories and good history lessons, if you want to put it that way. That's the way we can run that one. So got started there, got started into some other, the rabbit hole I went down this morning was this. I got into economics and the velocity of money and what that means. And velocity of money, okay? Let's sum it up real quick. Basically what you're dealing with is how many times $1 bill will change hands over a specified period of time. And one statistic that I read that really it just jumped out to me. In the fourth quarter number 4 of 2019, the $1 changed hands. Now, I'm not talking about any one specific dollar, but I'm talking about any dollar. That $1 changed hands 14.2 times or something like that. So over 14 times, $1 went from my pocket to that pocket to that pocket 14 times. So then, in economics, I'm really beginning to understand is there's something you can grasp the concepts like your money supplies. M1, M2 money supply. All right, these are things that, okay, they're out there. And what do they mean? What are the definitions of, what's the definition of an M1 money supply? Okay, checking accounts. Traveler's checks. What are traveler's checks? I'm like, who's ever? I was born in 1980. Who from my generation has ever used a traveler's check? Raise your hand, right? So there's all these different types of money supply, and then how those dollars move, then they draw different I guess like data points. All right, that's how that works. So they take these data points and then they study all this different stuff. It is definitely something that you're going to have to, like, if you're interested, it's a crash course. But there's a conversation I was having the other day with somebody that I forget the actual topic, but it was like, say, like I don't know, playing the guitar, okay? Which was not the example, but the idea is the same, because if you are going to get good at something, you have got to get into it, and you've got to study that and let it take over your life. That's the reference point right there, is you've got to let this thing absorb you so you can become an expert. And I'm not talking being a jack of all trades. I'm talking about being an expert, which some say requires 10,000 hours of study and mastery and becoming an expert in your field. But guess what? Then you get to become the authority and a go-to and a trusted resource. And I think that's so important. And I don't know, I'm going to speak for myself here. One of the things that I truly enjoy doing is telling stories and teaching. And, the last class that I taught, I got off on a bit of a rant, and I learned. Plus, keeping energy up on a Zoom and having a limited, physical audience, that's a little bit of a different story. But when you stay off track, when you go off track, and you get into a little bit more of a rant, all I'm saying is it really helps to have points and good anchors along in your conversation, so you can go ahead and communicate some good information. So anyhow, just wanted to say good morning, and bring some of that information to the table. We're going to be doing another mastermind here real soon. I don't have the date set yet, but it's going to be towards the middle to end of next month, which is March. And we're going to be teaching over at the Keller Williams office in Novi, revolving around the world of real estate investing, opportunities, how you can capitalize on stuff. And we're going to get together and we're going to go ahead and mastermind. So if you're interested in anything like that, reach out to me directly, and we can go from there. So hope you guys have a really good Sunday.